Hi everyone, my name is Laurent Truquet and I'm the Green Hydrogen Segment Director for Schneider Electric. And today I'd like to talk to you about how the green hydrogen ecosystem can bring real energy independence through a project that we commissioned last year. Sorry. Put that. So before we start, I'd like to remind everyone that we are still in a dual challenge context. Meaning that on one side, we have a need for energy independence and security, especially in Europe following the Ukraine war. And in the other side, we still need to fight the climate change. So we have a need for decarbonization of the industry. And any investment that are coming need to address these two challenges. We cannot avoid one or the other. It needs to be addressed at the same time. And actually, that was a bit the mindset of our partner Willow when they decided to invest in a self-sustaining energy supply network. Because of the Ukraine war, they were foreseeing some energy shortages due to the lack of the potential lack of the Russian gas, and they didn't want to be affected in their operation by that. So they start to think about how to invest to be more energy independent. And this is how they thought about green hydrogen, because it really addresses these two challenges. When you produce green hydrogen, it's made from renewable energy and water. Okay, so this is a total neutral carbon emission production, and you get a gas that is in fact an energy vector that has several applications, starting with mobility, but also replacing natural gas with hydrogen on hard-to-abate industry, but also for power generation in the case of Willow, our partner. So, Willow is a German manufacturer of pump, so they do pump and they do pump system. It's generating 1.8 billion euro revenue on the year, and they have around 8,500 people around the world. So, strong company, and they wanted to do this energy independence project in their facility, in their headquarters in Germany. The needs and the challenges they wanted to solve was first to address the dual challenge that I just talked about, but also they wanted to be able to manage the renewable energy that was available on site. They wanted to centralize in an automated way also the different processes and the different energy flow that are involved. They wanted to be able to store the renewable energy for peak shaving purpose, but also for emergency energy supply. And last but not least, they were thinking to do this project in order to build a showcase that could be replicable for their other production facility all around the world, and why not also for some other industries. So the solution to answer all these needs and these challenges is in fact the integration of all the processes, industrial processes in the single digital platform. And to have an automated way to launch the green hydrogen production whenever it's needed, based on the storage level or based on the energy needs. And they needed also some kind of automation for the use of the energy sources that were available on site for energy emergency supply or also for peak shaving. And they wanted to monitor all the installed equipment in the same way they do on their production facility as usual. So basically, their self-sustaining energy supply network for what we call the Willow Pack setup consists of several elements. So you have a solar rooftop, built on the roof of 3 megawatt to generate the renewable electricity. And this electricity is used for their own production facility, but also to produce green hydrogen through an electrolyzer of 300 kilowatts. And you have an associated storage tank up to 500 kilo of hydrogen to stock the hydrogen. Then there was installed a battery energy storage system with the purpose to protect the electrolyzer because in fact sometimes you start the production and there are no more solar renewable energy available, so you need to shut down in a smooth way the electrolyzer. So it gives some minutes for the electrolyzer to shut down the system in a proper manner in order to guarantee the lifetime and the performance of the machine. There was also a fuel cell that is able to generate electricity from the green hydrogen. And finally, an exchanger also to use the waste heat for cooling application purpose. So with this setup, in fact, they are able to produce up to 10 tons of green hydrogen per year. But more importantly, they are able to be self-sustaining for 2 days in terms of energy supply. So really giving them plenty of time to cover their needs of production and to wait for reparation of the grid in case of outage. So what we provided as an added value from Schneider Electric is, in fact, the Digital 4.0 technology, which is a highly automated platform. And what we did is, in fact, the integration of all the systems that gives the capability to optimize the overall system for the production plant. So there were the integration of three software. The first one is the automation expert that is here to control, in fact, all the industrial processes, whether it is the electrolyzer or it is the compression, the cooling system. So all of these processes around the production of green hydrogen were integrated for optimization of the production of green hydrogen. And this software and this integration was integrated in another one that is called Grid Advisor. And Grid Advisor has the capability to balance the different loads of energy, the different energy loads from a renewable into the electrolyzers. So the Grid Advisor also had the capacity to give the order to launch also the production of green hydrogen, so giving a full automated system to produce green hydrogen whenever it's needed. And with this integration, we managed to put it into the SCADA system of Willow plant in the local level, so they can monitor this additional setup of their in their premises, and to monitor in the same way they monitor their production for pumps, they monitor the renewable system that was installed, giving them a monitoring and an optimization in terms of profitability, and also monitoring of energy consumption, water consumption, gas consumption, and so on. So the benefits to set up this kind of self-supporting network are huge. Actually, it really improves the profitability of Willow plant because it is able to do peak shaving and to cover the extra energy costs. So it gives them up to 7% saving in terms of energy bills. Okay, so really a big impact in terms of energy consumption because it covers the volatility of the energy availability, of the energy prices, but also it covers the volatility of the energy outage in case they have no power from the grid. And by having such a system, it improves also their sustainability because they were able to use the solar energy, which is a decarbonized energy. And they were also able to replace their diesel generator by the fuel cells, so emitting less carbon, having less carbon footprint impact on their premises. So it really supports the path to net carbon neutrality, which is a huge goal that most companies have committed to. And also it has allowed them to be better recognized in the market from environmental agencies, but also giving them better rating in terms of financing access and insurance rating. So, with this setup, we can prove that green hydrogen really supports the decarbonization and the energy independence. And as a key point from this presentation, if you have to remember something, it would be that putting such a system in place really develop the profitability and the sustainability. They are solutions to manage multiple energy sources combined with industrial processes. And there is a local know-how at Willow and Schneider about the system integration to have this system totally integrated in the full ecosystem. And last and not least, this is the foundation for large-scale energy independence project. We are able to scale and to replicate this kind of solution. And actually, Willow today is already working on a 300 megawatt project for one of their facilities. Thank you very much.